Today we're going to start our introduction for C programming. Beforehand, just trying C programming, we need to have downloaded CID. First, there are multiple IDs for C, but for now for this specific video series, we're going to use Dev C++. This is an issue I checked. Yes, it's download Dev C++ from their site, bloodshed.net. Download the original, and it will download in a while. I have already downloaded the file. Yeah, it will download it. Once the download completes, you will have this file. Install it. Make sure you don't have any older version installed. If so, please uninstall them and update this with the new file. So to install these files, it will install quickly. Now to launch the file, please just search for dev C++. It will only take 2 seconds. It will take more than 2 seconds. Okay, it's done. I think it's done. Okay, now it will open. Okay. First, when let's write our first program, you need to go new and source file, and now let's type our program. Let's say include. Wait, let's first increase the size of the font so that you can see it quite easier. Let's for 15. Yeah, include stdio.h. I'll explain these statements in a later video. Let's go through this video for hello world. Let's type printf hello world return. You actually don't require to provide this statement, but it's good practice to provide this statement as well. Now let's save the file. So save the file, press Ctrl+S in your Windows keyboard, and in desktop, let's save the file in desktop. I'm going to rename the file as my first C, not my first C program, it's your C program. It might be your first C program. My first C program have the extension .c. It's better if you choose this because there are some instances that could generate errors because I'm not using the correct syntax. Save the file. It's been saved. Now we can compile and run it. When running the file, there is a problem prompt. I mean, this is not prompt in the older versions of this Dev C++. For some reason, there is this issue at the moment. In order to fix this source file not compiled, we have to go to Dev C++ original location. Go to this PC. It's usually in here. C Dev C++ in here. There is a particular file as library executes ECC in GW32 3.4, and you have to change this file. For example, I'm going to create a folder called temp. This is temporary folder. I could just delete this file. Instead, I'm going to place it in temp file because if it requires again for some reason, I could use it again. So now this file is ignored, and now you can have only this. Afterwards, you can try compiling it. Yeah, and you might saw the compiled version created this exe file, but it didn't run. This is not even an issue in the older version. For some reason, the new version has this issue. To solve this, you can simply place this line. Place, there are number of methods. You can use post statement, something like that, but I recommend you to use this scanf statement. If you don't know what the meaning of scanf, I'll explain in a later video. D, I think it's now. And if you run the file now, it will compile hello world. Let me explain a little bit about this code. The thing is, the code that's been executed, that you can see that it's been executed, is this only this code, printf hello world. These are some of the things that is required to run the C program. For example, they include stdio, like include the stdio. Do not worry about the signs. It just says to include this library, stdio library. What is this library? In this library, there are particular functions or statements. For example, printf, scanf are some of them. What is printf? Printf is telling your machine to print out a particular string of characters. In C, we don't use strings, but let's assume that we want to display a particular word, particular sentence. So you can use printf statement and pass the values. So how do your program know what to perform when the printf is given? The knowledge resides in the stdioh library. Stdio library have the knowledge to do what when the printf statement is used. If you don't use this statement, the program doesn't know what to do with printf. It just says printf will do this by using the library. The return 0 statement says the program has been executed without any issues. That's why it's 0. I mean, you could simply run this program without this file, but it is good practice to hang it out there. The integer main. Let's ignore this. If we ignore this part, this is a method in this case. Int main. Main is a reserved word. You cannot use it anywhere else. The main keyword is the main method in this program. This is the starter point of the program. It doesn't matter how many methods you have in the program will obviously start from here, this main method. Int is the return value. You don't have to confuse with this. I mean, you can see that it returns 0. 0 is a return value. Error codes usually are in integer numbers. So that's why do not try to deeply understand some of the meanings, because if you are new to the programming, you could simply ignore these stuffs and you could continue with program, because in the later time you won't even realize that you're typing this, because it's so repetitive task that you're performing. And you should wonder why we use scanf. Scanf is a function, so it's typically a function which is used to let users insert values so that the program can take values from the user input. And I mean, in this case, we just wanted to print out hello world. And why we used scanf in this case? The reason is the program is so fast that it doesn't even have time to stop when outputting. For example, it just print hello world. It will not stop. It will execute the command and close the command line prompt as soon as possible. Let me demonstrate. Let me comment out this file. I mean, if you are familiar with programming languages for an extent, you know what is commenting. When the line is commented, the compiler will not execute this file. I mean, let's delete it for less confusion. And if you compile and run this, you can see there's something appeared and gone. The reason is the program is so fast at executing it, its accelerator speed, it will not be able to show you the output. But if we use this statement and we compile and run, it will display hello world. And and why is that? Because when we use this statement, the program has a reason, has a statement to stop. It will stop once it's printed this output. It will stop until the user provides an output. Let me demonstrate it. I mean, after the program, you can type something, and you can see the program closes because the program got the value that we have inputted. Let me demonstrate the scanf function in another new program. Let me create a new file, source file. In here, let's create include stdio.h int main let's demonstrate this. Let's say I'm going to create two variables. When declaring variables in C, you need to declare their types. Because it's unlike the Python. XY. Let's say scanf. Say enter first value X. In this case, you might wonder what is going on. You just passed a string of characters, enter first value, and this particular character will tell the program that you need to enter a value and it will be placed here. Once it is placed here, when the value you input, it will be passed to the X variable, which is declared here. Same thing for the Y. Let's copy and paste second value and then Y, and now we want to display the total. Let's say int total equals X plus Y. You might wonder why did we have to initialize total as well in here, and you can provide this like this and printf the total is in this case as well. When we're printing out a statement, we use this placeholder. I mean, it's not a placeholder, but let's assume that it's a placeholder, and in here it will, the value from total here will be passed for here. Now let me demonstrate. Before we're going to, we need to stop the program, unless it will not display the output. Just simple program calling this and return 0, and then let's display this as a simple C program, and make sure when you are writing the file name not to have any blank spaces. If you want to have space between words, make sure to use the underscore and save the file. Let's compile and run. Okay, now let's see whether it's work or not. Something didn't work out. Yeah, I made a terrible mistake here, because it's unlike Java and other languages. Check no, you need first need to, I think, input the values. It's been quite a while since I've been using this language. Yes, see, let's demonstrate it again. Let's try it again. There is an issue. What is the error? Scan. Yes, semicolon. Now let's try again. Okay, into the first value, let's say it's 12. Something is not doing well, I think. To the first value and enter the first value. Scan it for the second value. The mistake is, in this case, I didn't use @. Whenever you provide a scanf function for, you need to provide this in order to pass the values. Now let's try it again. It's only for the scanf. It is not used for the printf ones. Okay. Now let's try 13. For this value 45. The total is 58, and it is right. Okay. enter again. Let's try it for different values. Let's say 100,000 or 1,000, 34,000 and 30, and it's your problem. If you have any questions, please make sure to comment down below, and thank you for watching.